Looks like everyone's fasting and they've forgotten to recite another salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Is it just me or are the days long these days for fasting? Has it been hard on us? How many of us has it been hard on fasting today? None? Okay, it's alright though. Inshallah it will be easier. But let me tell you something, that we have a famous hadith that says, أفضل الأعمال أحمزها. The harder the deed, the more rewards you get. You think that Allah doesn't know it's hard? If one person will do it easier, one person does it harder for them. It's harder for them. Allah takes this into consideration. He compensates, inshallah. We have hadith actually, it's interesting, that says on the Day of Judgment, the people who see the blessings and the rewards that are given to others because of the hardship they went through in their lifetime, when people see that, they say, man, I wish I was cut to pieces by scissors in this dunya. Look at how much they're giving to people who went through hardship. Now I'm not saying we ask Allah, oh Allah, cut me up with scissors. That's not what we ask for. But it's life. Sometimes hardship befalls us. Remember that if you keep your iman in those times, and you remember Allah in those times, Allah will compensate inshallah on the Day of Judgment. Recite salam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
You're not going to bring me a cup of water? My mouth is dry. It's the first day. It's okay to forget that we're fasting sometimes, right?
Coming.
So inshallah, I congratulate all of us on the arrival of this holy month. I want to share with you today, now this is something I spoke about before somewhere else too, I felt like it's good to share it here as well. I want to talk to you about something I came across, very strange. It'll take your attention towards it and it'll be hard to get away from it. It's a letter. I'm going to call it a letter. A love letter. Astaghfirullah. Ramadan time, he's talking about love letters. Astaghfirullah. But bear with me, then you'll see it's not so astaghfirullah after all. This love letter is between a person that's in love and a person that person is in love with. So a lover and a beloved. In this letter though, the letter is not addressed from the lover to the beloved. Right? But rather, the person that's in love, he's writing this letter for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's talking to Allah about the person that he loves. Yeah, this happens all the time. You fall in love with somebody, you really like somebody, you go to your friends, you go to your brother, your sister, your parents, you tell them about how much you like that person, how much you care about that individual. Just remembering them when you're with others itself is pleasurable. Yeah, the guy is so cool. He's so good at this, he's so good at that, oh my God. Sometimes you talk to the beloved directly, sometimes you talk to others about the beloved. Here, the lover is talking to God about the person that he loves. But first, before talking about the person he loves, for 2 or 3 pages, this lover tells God how much he loves God first. Oh Allah, oh God, I love you so much. You've done this for me, you've done that for me, without me asking. You've showered your blessings. When you gave me things, you didn't taint it with favor. You know, sometimes you give something to somebody, right? A poor person comes, you give them $10, right? And then for the next year, every time you see them, you're like, I gave you $10. The guy's like, I'll give you $20, please don't talk about it anymore, right? This lover tells Allah, oh Allah, you showered your blessings on me, but you didn't taint it with this favoring that I gave you this, I gave you this. No, you gave it to me without even asking. It's as if I'm the one who's blessing you, oh Allah. In some of these du'as we have this. That Allah, you're so kind that it's as if I'm the one who favored you. That's how you are towards me. Alright, so this lover goes on and on about how he loves Allah first. And then begins talking about how he has a beloved and how he misses the beloved. He shifts the conversation and the subject of the conversation to that person that he loves now. So once again, let me say this. We have a lover We have a beloved. This lover is talking to Allah how much he loves this beloved individual. After a while, after he tells Allah how much he cares about Allah, he shifts the conversation to the beloved. Let's see who this beloved is. Let me read some Arabic. It goes like this. Allahumma wa anta ja'alta min safaya tilka al-wadha'if wa khasa'is tilka al-furud shahr Ramadan. This is where we find out who the beloved is. الذي اختصصته من سائر الشهور وتخيرته من جميع الأزمنة والدهور. And it goes on and on. I'll translate it. It goes like this. He says, Oh Allah, after I said all the good things about you, now I want to talk about the beloved. This is my beloved. One of those things that you gave me that I have fallen in love with, what is it? It is Shahr Ramadan, the month of Ramadan. I'm in love. Now we still haven't talked about who the lover is here. Remember, that's going to come later. Who is this lover? But now we know the beloved who it is. It's Shahr Ramadan, the month of Ramadan. That you chose over the other months and you preferred over all other times of this world and of the year. And he goes on and on. Okay, so what's so good, what's so cool, what's so lovable about this month of Ramadan that you're in love with? Oh lover, he explains. بِمَا أَنزَلْتَ فِيهِ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. Because you sent down the Qur'an in this month. We celebrate our birthdays. Why? Why do we celebrate birthdays? Because it's a day that, me, being such a special person, because my mom and dad said so, I was born in that day. So because I'm beloved, the time or day that I was born in also becomes special and beloved. Here, this lover is saying, I love Shahr Ramadan. Why? Because of the nur and light and the book that was sent in it. As if Shahr Ramadan is the birthday of the Qur'an. And since he loves the Qur'an so much, that is just another reason for him to love the month of Ramadan. So that's one. That's one of the beauties of this month that I love so much. Number two, وَضَعَفْتَ فِيهِ مِنَ الْإِيمَانِ. Because of the multiplication, if that's a word, it's been a while since I've done math, but yeah. So the multiplication of Iman, the growth and solidification of Iman that happens in this month. Let me say this. They came to Imam Ali alayhi salam. We've all heard this. And they tell Imam Ali, or he says to Imam Ali, have you ever seen your Lord? We've heard this story. And then Imam Ali says, of course, wayhak, woe to you. What are you talking about? I won't worship a Lord that I can't see. And then the person says, oh, so how is that? What do you mean you don't worship a God you don't see? I don't see him, but I worship him. How do you do that? Oh Ali. What does Imam Ali say? He says, woe unto you. I don't worship him. I don't see him with the eyes that we have. But بِحَقَائِقِ الْإِيمَانِ I see him. This faith, or Iman, is something that we all have, but it's weak. It can only be strengthened through constant practice, constant obedience of Allah, constant worship of Allah. As this happens more and more, faith or Iman strengthens and grows more and more. When faith grows, it's as if we see Allah more than others. That little eye in the heart, boom, opens up. Slowly you see Him. That's how Imam Ali sees Allah. Because of Iman. Here, this lover is saying that beauty number 2 of Shahr Ramadan is the fact that in this month my faith gets stronger. Well, what happens when your faith gets stronger? It's as if you see Allah more and more, easier. The same way Imam Ali was saying, of course. We won't get anywhere close to Imam Ali's Iman, but still, if we can get to step 2 or 3, it's better than step 1, right? In this month this happens. So he loves it. وَفَرَضْتَ فِيهِ مِنَ الصِّيَامِ. Beauty number 3, that this lover, because of it, he loves Shahr Ramadan, is something that you and I, well not you but me probably, don't like that much. The fact that fasting has been made wajib in it. Fasting is not easy. You tell your non-Muslim friends that I'm fasting, they say, okay fine, as long as you can get some water. You say, no, I can't have water either. That's when the guy is like, whoa! And he runs away from our religion. Because why? Water, at least water? No, fasting is hard. Allah wants to make us hungry. Allah wants to make us thirsty. The same way you've sent me up here right now to speak so I get thirstier. Yeah? It's supposed to happen. It's not easy, it's bitter. But He loves it because of this. And I'll talk about it at the end of the lecture. What makes fasting so good? Not from a medical perspective, but from another perspective I'll talk about. وَرَغَبْتَ فِيهِ مِنَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Number 4, because of the encouragement that you have done in this month, oh Allah, towards what? What has Allah encouraged us to do in this month? Al-Qiyam. To stand. Stand in what? Stand in prayer. Stand in worship. Worship is that key. And out of all of these worships, worship number 1 after the wajib and haram is what? Salat al-Layl. Salat al-Layl. In this month, some people, because of all the encouragement that has happened, they are able to establish the night prayer throughout the year. How great is that? Something that we all know, all of these urafa, all of these greats have made it because of Salat al-Layl. Ayatollah Bahjat, rahmatullah alayh. Allama Qadi, rahmatullah alayh. Allama Tawatabai, rahmatullah alayh. What does Allama Tawatabai say? He says, I was in Najaf, and someone put his hand on my shoulder. I turned, I looked back, I see it's Allama Qadi, the teacher of Ayatollah Bahjat, the teacher of Allama Tawatabai and others. Allama Qadi, this person who we hear stories about that we are just blown away. He says, he put his hand on my shoulder. This might have been the first time he had ever met Allama Qadi. Allama Tawatabai says, Allama Qadi said to me, my son. Well, he wasn't really his son, but he's being kind to him by saying this. He says, my son, if you want dunya and material things, Salat al-Layl, the night prayer. If you want akhirah, Salat al-Layl, both of them. Everything lies in Salat al-Layl. Of course, after wajib and haram. If you take care of wajib and haram first, that key to everything, to every good, is this. Some people develop this in Shahr Ramadan. And then on the other hand, we have a misunderstanding too. Let me say this here, that even on the nights of Qadr, some people will neglect Salat al-Layl. They'll do 100 rakat, Qaza Umri they call it, which I have some things to say about, inshallah, later. But, which is good, it's good. But you can't neglect Salat al-Layl on the night of Qadr. If you're going to do Salat al-Layl on one night throughout the year, it has to be on the night of Qadr, the night of connection, the night of light. So this is the beauty, 4th beauty that he sees in this month, that he's in love with it. This lover is in love with. Number 4, رَقَبْتَ فِيهِ مِنَ الْقِيَامِ, that you encouraged us to do Salat al-Layl and worship in this month. وَأَجْلَلْتَ فِيهِ مِنْ لَيْلَةِ الْقَادْرِ, and of course the Laylatul Qadr that's in this month. Then when you go to all these du'as after Salat, the du'as of the nights of Ramadan, you find this again and again recurring. The night of Qadr, the night of Qadr, the night of Qadr that's better than 1,000 months. They keep saying this again. So a month that bears all of these and more beauties, of course this person is going to be in love with it. A person whose aql works, who knows that there's an akhirah, and there are shortcuts to achieving the high stages of this akhirah, one of them being this, of course he's going to be in love with it. But who is this lover? Can't tell you yet. Not yet. Or else, if I tell you, you leave. I have to keep you here for another 25 minutes or so. So let's go on. What else does he say? He says, you chose our nation over other nations with this month. So here we have a question. In the Quran, what do we have? We have a verse that says, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُم. Fasting has been prescribed upon you and been made wajib upon you the same way it was made wajib upon those before you. So a question that comes up here is, if Allah made it wajib on nations before us, this lover here who says, you preferred our nation over other nations through Shahr Ramadan, what does he mean by that? Should I repeat the question? The question is, this person is saying that, oh Allah, you gave us a bonus. What was that bonus? The bonus was that you gave us the month of Ramadan. And by this, you preferred us over other nations. But we have in the Quran that Allah made fasting wajib on nations before us. Very explicitly it says this. So there's a question that comes up. And judging by what we've said so far, this lover apparently is a ma'soom, by the words that we've heard so far. So probably he knows what he's talking about. How do we solve this problem? It's very simple. The Quran says, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ. Fasting was made wajib upon you the same way it was made wajib upon nations before you. So what are we talking about here? Fasting. But this lover who is speaking about a beloved and saying to Allah that this beloved individual, which I call the month of Ramadan, you chose us over other nations through it. What is the subject here? The month of Ramadan is the subject here. So here we had fasting was made wajib upon those before you. Here we have the month of Ramadan is what preferred us over other nations. Is the month of Ramadan the same thing as fasting? No. Fasting is something that happens in the month of Ramadan, yes. But the month of Ramadan has so many other things that fasting does not have. These are not equal. These are not equal. One is 100%, one is maybe 50%. Do these two equal each other? Of course not. So that's how we reconcile. That's how we solve the question. Allah chose our nation over other nations through fasting? No, through the month of Ramadan. It's as if the month of Ramadan is an individual, is an entity that gives us identity. That Allah has chosen us through it over others. And that's why you have hadith. It says, don't just say Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramzan, Ramzan. Don't say it like that. You're respectful. It's as if it's a person. Do I say someone, when I want to call someone, oh Jafar, come here. Or do I say, brother, Dr. Jafar, please come. Yeah? Sheikh so-and-so, Maulana so-and-so. Whatever titles you want to use, but we have respectful ways of addressing each other, right? The hadith says, لا تقولوا Ramadan. Don't say Ramadan. ولكن قولوا شهر Ramadan. Give it its title. Yes? Give it its title. You can look at me again. It fell, nothing happened. Shahr Ramadan, the title of Shahr. Give it the title. Why? فَإِنَّكُمْ لَا تَدْرُونَ مَا رَمَضَانَ. You people don't know what Ramadan is all about. Show some respect. The Imam said. Alright, so that's what it's all about. I'm falling in love too, although my mouth is dry and my stomach is empty. Yes, God has ghayrat towards this month. It's as if it's an individual. And other nations did not have it. Okay, so the lover is talking to Allah first about how good and cool Allah is. Forgive me for using this terminology. I'm just trying to sound younger for the younger people. He talks to Allah for pages about how beautiful Allah is. Then he talks about how beautiful the month of Ramadan is. And then it's as if this lover can't take it anymore. The lover was talking to Allah about himself, about the month, but now he just can't take it anymore. He wants to talk to the month of Ramadan itself. So he goes on to say, As-salam fa nahnu qailun. So I will say, This is how he goes in the letter, in this love letter. He says, so now that I've said all of these things, let me say this. Assalamu alayka ya shahr Allah al-akbar. Peace of Allah be upon you, O the great month of Allah. The greatest month of Allah. Wa ya Eid awliya'ih. And the Eid of the chosen ones of Allah. Those who know what this month is about, it's their Eid. Today is Eid. No, don't break your fast. Don't break your fast. Stop that brother. He's going to the kitchen. Stop him. It's the Eid of the chosen ones in the sense they say that the mystics, those with the highest levels of spirituality, the month of Ramadan, when it would arrive, the first day of the month of Ramadan is their January 1st. It's their first day of the year. That's when their year starts. That's when the New Year's resolutions take place in. That's that for them it's the first day of the year. It's their Eid. So here it says, Ya Eid awliya'ih. Salams to you, O Eid of the awliya Allah. He goes on and on. Assalamu alayka ya akram masqubin min al-awqat. Ya khayra shahrin fil ayyam. The best of months and days and hours and time. Assalamu alayka min shahrin qarubat fihi al-amal. Salams to you, the month in which the wishes are near. That means they're near to what? To being fulfilled. When you ask Allah, the hadith say, on this month He will accept. Nushirat fihi al-a'mal. The actions and good deeds in this month are spread out. Everywhere you see people are being good to each other. Even in this Muslim countries, crime rates drop dramatically in the month of Ramadan. In the month of Ramadan, people who weren't very devout, they become more devout. You feel it. You breathe it. Unless you live in a place where no one is observing anything, of course. But because of that environment, good deeds, you see them all over the place. People are rushing to do good deeds. And then he goes on to reach a point where he says, أَفْجَعَ فَقْدُهُ مَفْقُودًا. It is horrific. O month, it is horrific upon those who lose you and you leave them and you go. And then slowly he starts bidding this month farewell, this lover. Alright. So it started with Allah. The lover speaks to Allah. Then the lover speaks to Allah about the month of Ramadan. Then it's as if this lover can't take it anymore. He starts speaking to the month of Ramadan itself. But in the end, he starts bidding this month farewell. What's going on? What's going on here? This is where we have to now see who this lover is and where this love letter lies. Where can we find this love letter? Who is the lover? It is none other than Sayyid al-Sajidin Ali ibn al-Husayn al-Sajjad alayhi salam. That's the lover. Sayyid al-Sajidin. And this love letter is the dua number 45 of Sahifa Sajjadiyya. Which dua is this? The dua when he is bidding Shahr Ramadan farewell. When he's saying goodbye to the month. But Shaykhna, it's the beginning of the month. We have to do the dua that talks about the month when it arrives. I understand that. But have you ever been in that scenario where when you were a kid, you go to your mom or dad like, so-and-so has this, so-and-so has that, I don't have this, I don't have that. What did mommy say back then? Mommy would tell us that I know you don't have this, I know you don't have that, but, and I hated it when my mom would tell me this, close your eyes for 2 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Okay, close your eyes. And then see if you can walk anymore. Can you walk to wherever you want to walk to? No, I can't. Okay, now open your eyes. Now you see what you have? Some people don't even have this. Don't take what you have for granted. Right? Mommy would tell us that. And we get upset. It wouldn't solve the problem, because I still wouldn't have the things other people had. But the least was that I would take it, I would appreciate what I did have. When the end of the month arrives, that's when everyone wakes up like, oh my God, we're going to make the most of this month. Well, now's the time to talk about how a time will come that we won't have what we have right now. Appreciate it while we have it, inshallah. I love doing this. I love going to the end when it's in the beginning. To remind us that there's an end. We won't have the opportunity anymore. And man is like this. Man thinks that he will live forever. Man thinks that we will always experience the month of Ramadan. Who knows? Who knows? Yes? Just last year with one of the brothers, we were in Hajj. And the stampede happened. And all those people died. Right before us, about 10-15 minutes before, after we had passed that part of Mina, we heard that people had been trampled, thousands. God knows. So we want to make the most of it. You want me to give you a better example? If I remember correctly, I think it's Sayyid Bahr al-Ulum, one of these greats. Sayyid Bahr al-Ulum had a connection with Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wassalam. He's famous for that. Anyway, they say he would dig a grave in his backyard. Who does that? Usually you plant roses and stuff. But he had dug a grave in his backyard. And what would he do with this grave? And of course, this is not for you and I, brothers and sisters. Yes? This is not for you and I. This is for the greats. He would go lie in the grave every now and then. He would go lie in it, and he would recite the verse that says, "Oh Allah, return me to the earth so that I can do good deeds." Yes? And the verse goes on to say that, "Kalla, no way, it's over. إِنَّهَا كَلِمَةٌ هُوَ قَائِلُهَا." This is something that he says. In other words, it's not going to happen. He can say it, but it's not going to happen. When we go into the grave, it's over. They say Bahr al-Ulum would go lie down in the grave, recite this verse as if it's over. "Oh Allah, return me." And then he would get up and come out of the grave. And he would say, "You have been granted another opportunity. Let's see what you're going to do." Yeah. So he's remembering the end, although he hasn't reached the end yet, but he's remembering the end. Why? Because every now and then, we have to remember the end. That's why our ulama say every now and then. I insist, every now and then. Not too much. Every now and then, it's not a bad idea to take a look at the graveyard. Every now and then when you feel like, okay, I'm a little bit too involved, too indulging into this life and forgetting about it, just go and take a little stroll in the park. Look at all the flowers that are on top of the gravestones, and you can just come right out again. Just remind yourself, every now and then they say, I've heard greats say this, that it's not a good idea to go too much. They've said this also, every now and then, right? Inshallah. All right. I don't want to go over my time, so. All right, so this is if someone says, this is a goodbye letter, why are we reading it now? Well, we talked about it because we want to remember the end so that we make the most of the beginning. Not from the 15th, not from the 20th, from now, inshallah. Tomorrow we'll talk about what we can take from this month, inshallah. Tomorrow is very important, actually. Today's a warm-up. Two more points that we have to cover before we end, very quickly. All right, love letter, love, all that kind of stuff we talked about. And alhamdulillah, we found out that it wasn't bad stuff, it was good stuff since it's the month of Ramadan. All right, now a question. If Allah loves us so much, if this lover, which is Imam al-Sajjad, is in love with this month so much, usually good stuff has to happen. Fasting is tough. Now I'm talking to the younger guys here now. Fasting is tough. Why is it that the banquet of God, they say the feast and ziyafat of Allah is to be starvation? Well, that's not starvation. Hunger and thirst. Why? I'm going to give an example here. And I want you to, inshallah, think about this. And keep it in the back of your minds forever. Every now and then, whenever hardship comes in our lifetime, remembering this example should be able to solve the problem to an extent. Example goes like this. You sign up in a gym. You sign up in a gym. You go into the gym. If you see in that gym a corner with, and I might have used this example before too, I don't know. In one corner, the donut corner. And I think all of our imaginations right now can work very well about what we would. Alright, so donut corner, you got the fast food and the hamburgers all on this side, and the ice cream on that side, subhanAllah. You got 10 minutes left, brothers. Hang in there. Alright? And And let me just say this, that drooling does not break the fast. So, you got all these things in the gym, you walk into the gym. Now, you want to lose weight, right? So are you going to be happy when you walk into the gym and you see these things or not? Huh? You're not going to be happy. Give me my money back. No, we want you to not be in hardship. You slap the guy up and say, give me my money back. What are you talking about? I signed up in the gym for a reason. But if we put equipment and weights and all that, it'll be all about sweat and tears and blood. We don't want that for you. Give me my money back. Don't talk. The more you talk, the worse you're making it. Now I have to send you to the hospital to get you checked. I came here for a purpose. But hardship, I know, but hardship is a preliminary step towards that perfection that I want to attain and achieve. Brothers and sisters, in a nutshell, this life, this dunya, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ, we created man in hardship, the Quran says. A material world is a world of hardship. End of story. Not constant suffering and hardship, no. But a material world is a world in which clash, in which hunger happens. Things bump into each other. Hardship. Falsehood and truth will be mixed up. It's a gym. The hardship and the pain you feel now, you will see it somewhere else in another form of bliss and happiness and ease. That's what it's all about. Yes, it's hardship. Allah wants to put hardship on us sometimes, or else we won't grow. It's like Allah putting a few steps in front of us. We want to get to the second floor of a building, and there's steps or an elevator. Now someone closes their eyes and runs towards the staircase. They'll fall. They'll fall and break something. Can they say, why did you put stairs here? Like, okay, because this is a building, hello. And you want to get to the second floor, hello. Right? The steps are there for a purpose. If my eyes are closed, if my leg muscles are too weak to pull me up, that's my fault. They have to put it there. So what do I have to do? I have to be ready for these stairs. Because the ultimate goal is to get up there. The ultimate goal is this fitness from this gym that we're in right now. Alright, there's a lot more to say here. But I'll leave it at that so you think about it more. But then someone else will ask another question. They'll say, well, I didn't sign up for this gym, man. I didn't sign up. If I had signed up for this gym myself, then your explanation would hold and would make sense. But I didn't sign up for this gym. I don't want this hardship. I'm going to tell you a story about myself. When we were very young, like I am right now, and inshallah, what does inshallah mean here? It means you're not, but, or mashallah, that's better, that's better. Come sit next to me at iftar time. So, we're like, I don't know, very young, 16, 17 maybe. And one of our friends, he got into a car accident. He was a very good kid, he was like 12 or 13 maybe. He wasn't baligh yet. He hadn't come of age Islamically yet. So the car accident, all that happened, and he passed away. And it hurt the community, and everyone was touched by this. I still remember that I was telling myself, he's so lucky. Why? He's so lucky because before becoming baligh and having any sins, he left this world. And this is okay, it's okay, this is a very okay way of looking at things, but it's a very layman-oriented approach of looking at this dunya. It's as if, our whole goal in life is to either die before we become baligh, or to do something if we reach bulugh, the age of bulugh, and we're responsible for our actions, to do something so that we avoid God's punishment. That's all we're here for, to run away from God. But when you look in the Quran, when you look at hadith, that's not the picture that is given. Okay? It's not the picture that's given. Let's move into our example now. Our example was the gym. Someone will come and say, oh, this gym, it's all about hardship, hardship, hardship. That's one way of looking at it. But other people who know what it's all about, like those trainers, they look at the gym and they see heaven. When they're pumping the iron, they're feeling that acid build up in their muscle fibers and tear up their muscle fibers. But they know that there's a pleasure that's going to come after. So they're so happy about what they're achieving that pain is pleasurable to them. Oh my God. All right. So don't say, I didn't sign up for the gym. Yes, you didn't sign up. But others who knew what it's all about forcefully signed you up. It's not about running away from God's wrath. There's more to it. Ayatollah Jawadi Amali, may Allah protect him. He says it's not hard to not go to hell. In other words, that's not our purpose in life, to not go to hell. Although that's how people explain it to us, unfortunately. And that's how we look at God, and we bring God down. And make people think that God is just after punishing us. No. Allah wants a lot for us. It was worth it to create creation and sign up everyone in this gym so that those who want it can at least make it. Because those who make it, they take a lot of pleasure. That's what we're here for. And I've heard others say this too. That what are you here for? What did Allah create us for? Infinite, eternal pleasure. End of story. He's giving us a little taste of it here, but it's mixed with all of these other hardships and pains and sickness and illness and all that kind of stuff. But even this life, if they were to tell us, you have a chance to dip into the fountain of youth and live forever, we'll say, I'll take it, I'll take it. Yeah? Even with this, with the deficiencies of this life, there are people who will accept it if it's given to them to live here forever. Why is it that we run away from death? Because we want to live here, right? He's giving us a taste of it here so that we understand what there is all about when he says it's the good stripped of all the bad. And the good times the millions and billions, although that's not even eternity. And that's not even infinity. But still. So why did they sign me up into this gym? The same reason why the daddy signs his son up into college and university. Because he knows what's good for him. We don't understand what's good for us. I'll end with this example. An example of how we don't understand what's good for us. That's why he forcefully brought us here. With one repentance, forget about the sins, brothers and sisters. You make the decision. I'm not going to sin anymore. I'm going to put this aside. And you do that, it's over. It's accepted, they say. Don't think that we're here just to run away from God and the punishment. And oh my God, just, all we're here for is to just make sure we don't fall into hell. No, with one proper tawbah, it's over. Those are taken care of. He wants us to build ourselves. That spiritual exercise, one of them being Ramadan, the month of Ramadan. An example of us not understanding what is waiting for us, I'll give this example and we'll end. It goes like this. When we're born, if they tell us, listen, O infant that is 5 days old, there's some good stuff in this world. There's something called ice cream. It's okay, brothers, you can drool. There's something called ice cream. What is that baby going to say? Well, that baby can't talk, but if it could talk, it would tell you that all I want is my mommy's milk. That's all. The world, the dunya, the akhirah, everything for me is my mom's milk. That's all that matters. The baby grows a little more. You put it into the crib. All I want is this crib. The world and the universe for me is this crib of mine. All right. I'm telling you, you want more. No. This is enough. This and mommy's milk. As this kid grows, this baby grows, toys, then solid foods. Slowly, the baby has a little, I don't know what they're called, those little bigger cribs that they're in, the playpen, whatever. Then they have their own room. Then this kid grows, goes to school. The playground. Everything is the playground. You try explaining to this kid, listen, cars, driving, all I want is this. Grows older, tricycle, bicycle, in the neighborhood, listen, do you want to ever drive to, I don't know, many miles away, check out what Arizona looks like, check out what Michigan looks like? No, I don't even know what you're talking about. This is all I want. Grows older and older. Marriage, do you know what it is? I don't know. Ew, girls, boys, ew, ew. But then later on, this same guy, he says ew, is all over the place. Alright. So man, in his capacity to take pleasure, is like a child. He's growing, but still is a child. Reaches 30, 40, still, they want the moon now. He wants the moon. The same person who didn't want anything more than the neighborhood for the bicycle, and then later on the whole United States for in his car, now all of a sudden wants a plane. Now all of a sudden wants the moon. Everything. That's because we're still babies. In our 40s, in our 50s, 60s, all the way, as long as man is walking on the face of this earth, we will still be a baby when it comes to the barzakh and Yawm al-Qiyamah and Jannah and all of that. We don't understand. We don't understand. There's a lot more to say here about what our ulama have said about the other side. Allah signed us up here because He wants us to work towards it. But at the same time, the whole test is we know it's there, but we don't know what it's all about. Inshallah, Allah gives us tawfiq to fulfill these deeds and these promises that Allah has given us. Inshallah, Allahumma hajjil wa waliyika al-faraj waj'alna min khayri a'malihi wa ansarihi wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi al-tahirin.
محمد وآل محمد